Brian Tyler Cohen, progressive YouTuber, friend of show, posted a tweet about this today in response to Vance's call to rehire the DOGE employee. He wrote, the husband of an Indian American wife and the father of 3 Indian American kids wants to bring back the staffer who posted normalize Indian hate. Brian joins me now. It's good to see you, young man. Always a pleasure.
Thanks, Chris.
So here's the counter. Yes, he has to defend him because you and your brothers and sisters, or whatever they call themselves, want to cancel everyone who says anything you don't like. It's not enough to disagree. It's not enough for them to have to apologize. God forbid anybody apologize because you kill them with that. But you want to cancel them. And that's what you guys are about. And it's out of step with the compassion of the American psyche. And people are against you on it. And that's why Vance has taken the other side.
I mean, think about what that looks like in practice here, this desperation to push back on cancel culture, right? Thanks to Vance now, you have this DOGE employee whose stated position is that Indians should feel hated in America. He's going to be rehired, and then Vance gets to go home to his Indian American wife and his Indian American kids and look them in the eyes and say that a guy who wants you to feel uncomfortable in your own country now has a top job again in the government thanks to me. Like, Vance had a chance to defend his own family, and he opted instead to defend the Indian-hating bigot instead. Like, Chris, where are the balls on these Republican men? Trump calls Ted Cruz's wife ugly. Ted Cruz becomes Trump's best friend. Elon wants the Doge kid who hates Indians back, and Vance does his bidding while his Indian wife and kids are at home. Like, do they castrate these guys at the door of the RNC?
They have to pick a side, Brian, because this is what you guys do. Look, I see it. I think you got high ground here because this guy is a real one. He is a bigot. And I guess Vance, because he's married to an Indian woman and his kids are half Indian, he has portfolio to say, I can treat this guy any way I want because I'm the one being affected by his hate, not you. Okay, but I see the same thing in you guys, how you're assessing the executive orders. Everything Trump wants to do has to be illegal and wrong. Waste, fraud, and abuse. Everything Musk is doing has to be wrong. And I feel like you guys get stuck, not so much with the racist kid. I think you're on the right side of that one. But these 80-20 issues, trans females in sports, you know, whether you should stand for the anthem, things where like most people are like, yeah, you should do that. You guys take the 20 side because Trump's on the 80 side. And I see that was the waste, fraud, and abuse. And I see it as an extension of the same toxic dynamic, if not as ugly an example.
Look, I think that you'll be hard pressed to find Democrats who say if there's legitimate fraud that we have to somehow keep it just because of stasis. But what Elon is doing here is not really doing that. I mean, by taking away USAID, which again, the reason he did it is clear, it's because they were investigating him. I mean, this is what, just over 0.5% of the budget. It does things like delivers clean water and offers HIV prevention across the world. Not only are those good unto themselves, again, for a fraction of the budget, but they confer goodwill to America across the entire planet. And then that means that when there's global conflicts, we have that goodwill to bank on. When we cede that ground, that gives an opening to countries like China. And so you would think that it's in America's best interest to keep USAID intact. And yet, that's not what we're doing. We're instead ceding that ground to China, and that's bad for America. But it's good for one person, and that's Elon Musk, who has business interests in Beijing, who has business interests in Shanghai, and that's just one example. The USAID thing. We're seeing countless examples
it's the right one.
Where there are institutions that benefit.
Look, of course, a lot of the agencies do good things, Brian. But let's stick with the instant example because it's what we're living right now. Look. My beef, it's not my beef. My challenge is this. They can't get rid of the agency. Congress has to be involved in that. So there's going to be a litigation. That part's going to be on hold. The Democrats seem as though you are completely oppositional to any efforts to do anything. Why not instead Ro Khanna it and say, hey, look, these lists of things that you said in the subscriptions, you know, Republicans and Democrats got those subscriptions from Politico. But if you want them out, that's fine. Let's see what else we can get rid of. You know, we're here for it. You guys don't own waste, fraud, and abuse. We want it gone but no, you oppose it every step of the way. I haven't heard a single Democrat say anything good other than the yeah, but. Yeah, we're against it, but. And then you're against everything they're doing to get rid of it.
I think that if you really want to show Americans that you're legit about rooting out waste, fraud, and abuse, then go Go to the agency, for example, that's failed, what, the last 8 or 9 audits, and that's the military. But they won't touch the things that are obvious, that are the obvious
100%.
targets. Instead, when you go after
Amen.
USAID, the agency that is investigating Elon Musk, it shows that you're not serious about this.
Hey, thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget, click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.